7 tricks stylists use to make sneakers look elegant. And the last one is the most powerful. Most women try to pair sneakers with their outfit, and the look still feels incomplete. What's usually missing isn't the right sneaker. It's a composition logic almost nobody teaches outside a fashion studio. I'm saving the best for last, and the starting point comes even before you put the look together. Trick 1. Choose a sneaker that reads as a shoe, not sports gear. Some people love wearing sneakers day to day, but look in the mirror and feel like the look came out sloppy. The problem is almost never the sneaker itself. It's the type of sneaker, and this is the first of the 7 tricks, the foundation for everything else. A running shoe was designed to communicate speed and performance. When it enters an elegant look, that's exactly what it says. But an urban sneaker, with clean lines, in leather or suede, with a proportional sole and a discreet logo, sits on an interesting visual border, close to a casual shoe without quite being one. Before, white running sneakers with colorful details and a thick sole paired with straight navy pants and a light blue shirt. The look feels athletic, even with nice pieces. After, the same outfit with white leather sneakers, a slightly squared toe, a low sole, and no logo. Completely different. The more elegant the outfit, the less athletic the sneaker needs to look. Trick 2. Use the rule, tailored on top, comfortable on the bottom. Now, a belief that holds back a lot of good looks. Sneakers don't go with dressier clothes. They do. What doesn't work is sneakers with an entirely casual outfit. When you wear sneakers, the footwear already relaxes the look. It's already done that job. The mistake is letting every other piece follow the same direction. The result sinks into mediocrity. The fix is to include at least one piece with the opposite language in the mix. A structured blazer, tailored pants, a vest, a trench coat, any piece that carries construction and intention. Look at this outfit: straight jeans, a white t-shirt, and cream sneakers. It's okay, but it looks like the weekend. Now add a camel blazer with a slightly structured shoulder. It's a different look entirely. The tension between the sneaker and the blazer is exactly what makes the combination feel styled. Athletic and refined balance each other out. That friction is what generates visual interest. If the sneaker relaxes the look, another piece needs to elevate it. That's simple. Trick 3. Reduce the contrast between the sneaker and the bottom. Have you ever put on sneakers and stood in front of the mirror, feeling like something was off, without knowing exactly what? This is the third of 7, and what I'm about to show you is one of those details that transforms the look quietly. The problem, most of the time, is contrast at the feet. When the sneaker is very different from the bottom half of the outfit, the eye goes there, not because the sneaker is ugly, but because the color break creates an unintentional point of focus. Look at this combination: straight chocolate brown pants, a caramel top, and white sneakers. The look is pretty, but the feet grab more attention than they should. Now swap just the sneaker. Same look, cognac brown leather sneakers. The whole silhouette starts to read as one single thing. Stylists call this the footline. The sneaker talks first to the piece directly above it. When the colors belong to the same family, the visual line continues down to the floor instead of being interrupted. Sand-colored pants call for sand or cream sneakers. Deep blue jeans call for navy sneakers. Gray pants call for light gray sneakers. They don't need to be identical, just need to belong to the same field. In the next trick, the sneaker stops being the weak point of the look and becomes exactly the detail that shows it was intentional. Trick 4. Use the sneaker as the only casual piece in the look. Now comes a trick that seems counterintuitive, but makes complete sense once you see it in action. This is 4 of 7, and from here, things get more interesting. The most common mistake is trying to balance the sneaker by making the whole look casual. The pants become jeans, the top becomes a t-shirt, the sneaker relaxes too, and in the end, everything looks comfortable, but nothing looks elegant. The right approach is the opposite. Build a look that would work with a classic shoe, and only then put the sneaker in its place. Look at this outfit: an almond-toned pleated midi skirt, an ice-white silk top, and gold hoop earrings. Up to this point, anyone would read it as elegant. Now add white leather sneakers, clean low sole. The look hasn't lost anything. It's gained a slight edge, an air of someone who doesn't need to prove anything. And here's the detail that changes everything. The sneaker only works because it's the single piece outside the formal register. When it's the only concession to casual, the read is, "I chose this." When everything around it is also casual, the read shifts to, "It's what I had." Another example, straight black tailored pants, a matte cream silk shirt, a structured caramel bag, and white round-toe sneakers. It works because the sneaker interrupts a composition that's already put together. It's not trying to save one that never came together in the first place. This trick is strong, but there's one still to come that's going to change how you look at proportion, something nobody consciously notices, but everyone feels. Trick 5. Control the visual weight of the sole. Have you ever looked in the mirror at an almost perfect outfit and felt like something was off without being able to point to what? Sometimes the problem isn't in the clothes, it's on the ground. This is 5 of 7, and it's one of the least obvious on the list. When we think about sneakers, we think about color, model, brand. What rarely enters that equation is the sole, its thickness, the volume it takes up in the look, and that oversight has a real visual cost. Picture this, a champagne slip dress, light, fluid drape, delicate earrings, a small bag. The whole look has a very specific lightness. Then a thick-soled, chunky base sneaker comes in. The result looks heavy, disproportionate, as if someone put boots on a ballerina. The look might still function in another way, but it's lost the delicacy it carried. Now swap it for a medium-sole sneaker, smooth cream leather, low profile. The dress stays a dress. The sneaker joins the composition without competing. The silhouette stays whole. The reverse is also true. Wide charcoal gray tailored palazzo pants call for a sneaker with some structure. A chunky white one or a leather one with a more present sole balances the volume of the leg. A very thin sneaker there disappears and the silhouette loses its base. Professionally, this is called visual mass balance. The sole isn't just support, it's optical weight. When the shoe's weight is in conversation with the volume of the clothes, the silhouette comes together naturally, effortlessly. The next trick goes deeper into this idea of visual unity, but through a completely different path, one to do with color that can make the sneaker literally disappear inside the look. Before the next trick, let me tell you something. How many times have you opened a closet full of clothes and still thought, "I have nothing to wear"? The problem isn't a lack of clothes. It's that nobody ever taught you how to combine the pieces you already have. That's why I put together a guide with over 150 looks. Tested one by one, using only 15 pieces you probably already have at home. And the best part, you don't even need to think. Just choose the look, copy it piece by piece, and in 5 minutes, you're ready to go. The link is in the pinned comment and in the description. And if you're watching on TV, just point your phone at the QR code on the screen. Trick 6. Make the sneaker disappear. Inside a monochromatic look. Now, a detail that seems counterintuitive the first time you hear it. Sometimes the best thing a sneaker can do is disappear. Not grab attention, not stand out, just dissolve into the composition. This is the 6th of 7 tricks, and it changes a lot about how you put a look together. The instinctive logic is to use contrast, a dark sneaker with light clothes, or the reverse, to create visual interest. And contrast works in a lot of situations, but when the goal is elegance with sneakers, contrast at the feet tends to work against you. It fragments the silhouette into parts. The eye stops, drops down, registers the sneaker as a separate object. What stylists do differently is build a color column and pull the sneaker into that column. Look at this outfit. Cream palazzo pants, an ivory scoop neck knit top, and smooth leather off-white sneakers. The colors aren't identical. They're 3 slightly different shades within the same warm family. The eye doesn't read 3 pieces. It reads one single silhouette. The sneaker is there, but it's not what you see first. Here's the deciding detail. The colors don't need to match exactly. They need to belong to the same territory. Beige with camel and sand sneakers, gray with charcoal and light gray sneakers, navy with deep blue and navy sneakers. The family unifies. The variation keeps it from looking like a costume. It's a strong trick. And still, what comes in the next and last one goes further, because it has to do with something that's on your sneakers right now. and that you've probably never stopped to check before heading out. Trick 7. Make the sneaker look impeccably new. And we've arrived at the 7th trick, the last one, the one I promised at the very beginning would change how you look at your own sneakers. And that's exactly what's about to happen. Of all the tricks I've shared today, this is the most powerful. Not because it involves choosing a model, color, or silhouette, because it involves something that's in your closet right now and that most people never assess before heading out. The condition of the sneaker. In styling, footwear is part of the composition. It's not a detail, not what's left over after the look is put together. It speaks for itself, and when it's neglected, no amount of tailoring in the world saves the read. Take this as a reference. 2 women in the same outfit, straight cream pants, a caramel blazer, a white t-shirt, and a nude bag. In the first look, the white leather sneaker has a spotless sole, freshly replaced laces, a crease-free toe. In the second, it's the same model, but the sole is grimy, the laces yellowed, the leather creased. The second one looks careless. The first looks like a choice. That's the difference between looking intentionally casual and looking simply worn out. What stylists do before any shoot, they check the side of the sole, the toe, the laces, the visible insole, and the wear on the heel. Swap the laces when needed. It costs next to nothing and makes the sneaker look brand new. And never wear the same sneaker from the gym in a look you want to feel elegant. White sneakers with a genuinely white sole, evenly brushed suede, clean, well-aligned laces. This isn't perfectionism. It's what separates the look people compliment from the look they can't quite explain why it didn't work. Now you have all 7, and if you apply them all together, the sneaker stops being the element that needs explaining and becomes exactly what it should be, an intentional, elegant choice. Completely yours. If you want to see how to build these looks from scratch, ask in the comments. I'll bring the video.